This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
On the show today, we had a special guest.
Hello.
We did.
That's Ross. He read the
Special
paper.
guest. Yeah, okay. I mentioned it once. I read the paper because I didn't know what would come up. In my
No.
shift, I don't need to know much, and here
No.
I feel like anything can come up.
Well, it was worth it, Ross, because you told us a story about an incident in Bunnings.
Yeah, was it the spicy devil
No,
spray?
Devil spit.
Yeah, devil spit, and it
Devil
ended up
spit.
being he was trying to cheer up a mate, and
It's a great story.
Ended
anyway.
up in court.
We talk about pranks that went wrong as a result of that. Sean's furious. Safe
is he
to
ever?
say, the dummy has been spat.
100%. Still getting messages, by the way.
Yeah.
Still getting messages.
Yeah. So we catch up with Will Schofield again. This is about the swim to Rottnest on Saturday because the thing is, there's a team of old Dockers players
Don't bring it up.
going up against a team of old Eagles players, and the Eagles recruited a guy called Dean Peters, who has admittedly won the Rottnest swim solo.
Sean's all right with
previously,
it.
but it was 15
He went to
years
the
ago.
Barcelona Olympics.
Yeah. That was, most people weren't alive then,
It's
Sean.
pretty funny, isn't it?
But he is a West Coast Eagles life member, as Will
He's
points
never
out.
ever played for them.
Look, then we talk to more people about ring-ins. The
Yeah,
art of a
ring-ins.
good ring-in goes a
Yeah.
long way.
For sure. And there's a couple of people who are out doing some diving on the long
yeah.
weekend here off Hillary's, right? They were left behind. They were
middle of the
picked up by
ocean.
the Rottnest ferry, for God's sake.
It's amazing, isn't it? You're going to find out why you should be wary of rickshaw drivers in Hong Kong too.
This is Nathan, Nat, and Sean. 937.
It's 5:56. Nathan and Sean, and Nathan's still off sick, but we've got a new toy to play with, Sean.
You are going to frighten the life out of this human being this morning, Natalie. Good morning to you, Ross.
Morning.
Ross,
I've already said, can we tone down the swearing off air? Because my primal fear with you guys is leaving a microphone up when the things you say off air.
Excuse me, Ross. Who is the only person who's ever
Sworn on air.
while the microphones have been left on air?
Well, Sean has done it many times, but there was one incident where I doubled down on the F word. But I didn't know the mic was
No,
on.
Sean has only sworn on air deliberately. He's never sworn off air
Exactly.
when he thought he was off air and the mics were
Completely
left
different.
on.
Completely different.
I try not to swear in my day-to-day life, and that one time I did swear on air I was trying to deliberately be like over the top, just in the studio, just because we weren't on air, but Katie Lamb left.
You were,
the mic
as
on.
it turned out.
I remember we were doing an interview. Who was it with that time that Nathan made sure it was a pre-recorded.
It was
yeah.
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner. So Nathan, on purpose, did the biggest F word
Yeah,
to
yeah.
him, just for the sake of having a conversation.
That's right.
And then left it, obviously, for our producer, Amy, to be able to cut it out and, goes to air and everything's hunky-dory. And for some reason, Amy didn't hear
No,
it.
she didn't hear it. And also, it went to air at 8:10 on the first day of school. Just as all the kiddies are in the school, in the car on the way to school.
That's a fun conversation.
Yeah, that went well.
Play your ripper.
Good to be
Anyway,
here.
welcome aboard, Ross.
Thank you.
Hopefully you don't swear today, Ross. Maybe me and Natalie will. More so me.
Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
We were just talking about it. Sean is making his debut in the commentary box on Sunday.
exciting.
On Sunday. This is exciting.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about it. We've got to run today at Optus
Yeah.
Stadium like a full. We've been doing it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And definitely nervous about saying it because I can say some smart ass stuff. I'm not
Yeah.
sure how that goes with the WA
Footballing public.
viewers.
So this is for Channel 7, yeah?
Yeah.
But people that know you, Sean, are going to hope for some Seanisms, but without
You'll get them.
the swear.
Without the swear words.
Without the swear
Let's
words.
hope that's the
So it's
case.
just not- so
There's
he's
no
got
dump
nothing
button
to
live
say.
footy. Oh, yeah, geez, I'll be mute half the time, won't I?
So you're doing special comments? You're
Yeah, I'm
kind of
doing
like, so
special
that there'll be two people calling the game and then
Yes.
you just jumping in with...
Yeah, then it'll be me with spotting the obvious.
Like, can you give us an example of a special comment? So over to Sean. What would you say?
Oh, what did I say? Oh, it just depends on the
Yeah.
on the state of the play, Ross. So
It'll
if
be
it
a bit
goes
of a-
out of bounds, I'll be talking about how the play
Went out
got
of
there.
bounds.
Yeah, the influence of any individual at any one time. Probably.
He's good.
So it's more analytical, isn't it? It's a bit
Yes.
more, yeah. You're sort of making your observations rather than actually doing the play-by-play. That's
No.
the proper commentator's job.
Yeah. So Mark Reddings will be doing that.
Oh, Skeeter's great.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yes, yeah.
Yep. So we'll have that as well. And, looking good for it.
3:10 bounce down. So you're doing the Eagles game on
Yeah.
Sunday.
After your Port de Pub.
Oh, Ryan Daniels, by the way, I've got to mention
Oh,
him
Rhino,
'cause
yeah, he does a great job too.
He does a great job. So
Yep.
two boys.
Yep. You've sucked up to the right people. Well done.
Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Ross read the paper this morning in preparation.
I
for
know,
joining
I'm a
the show
massive
today.
loser, and I did promise not to say that again.
But you found something.
I did. I read the paper this morning. If
Yeah,
you guys
yeah,
weren't aware. I read this article, it just made me laugh. So the headline in the West Australian: keep that fart spray in your pocket. Good start.
No,
Good
well,
start.
that's
That gets
also
you in.
Yeah.
just solid life advice.
It is. A man who sprayed a chili substance called Satan spit inside a Bunnings store was just trying to cheer up a glum friend. But this is where it gets serious. A court has been told. Bail hearing in the district court, blah, 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 blah. He went to the Northam store last April and deployed the spray to lighten the mood and entertain a companion who was going through rough times.
Now, this is what he's saying in his defence.
Yeah, so this is in court. And then he said he also had a bottle of fart spray in his pocket, but did not deploy it.
So is he saying he meant to put the fart spray because
Yep.
that's funny?
Yeah.
But instead accidentally sprayed the
Satan spit.
the super capsicum spray. Essentially, that's what it must be.
I know, it doesn't sound as good though. Satan
Satan
spit.
spit.
But could Satan spit also cheer up a glum friend, is the question.
Well, no, because their eyes burn, and didn't a whole lot of people have to go to hospital?
The prank caused 15 people in the Bunnings store to cough and suffer burning pain to their eyes and nose, triggering an emergency response, including paramedics and police. So, not as fun once that happens. So
But I want to know, why is he carrying the Satan spit anyway? Like, what's that
we
for?
didn't get
I
Satan
don't
spit.
know. I don't know.
You get it from Satan?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this,
of
is
course.
this is in a Northam's Bunnings.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the Bunnings has said we lost $16,000
Yes.
worth of take for the day.
Yeah.
And not to mention all the people that we had to send
to
to hospital.
hospital
So it was
and-
like
yeah.
$11,000 to $15,000
Yes.
worth of hospital bills.
Yeah, so
as
he's in
well.
court.
How's the glum friend? Has anybody checked on the glum friend?
There's no mention of the glum friend. Just the 15 injured customers at Bunnings. And
So now there's 16 glum people.
But do you see that he had good intentions? Like he was just trying to have a bit of fun?
I think the fart spray's fun. The Satan spit, that's a little bit more
Satan
malicious.
I would suggest if you've got fart spray in one pocket and Satan spit in the other, you need to know which one's which. You know what I mean?
I'm hearing you. You know what? The cops went back to his house and they found another thing of Satan spit. So I don't know. He must have got some kind of a deal.
2 for 1.
One.
Great deal on Satan spit.
2 for 1 on Satan spit. Amazing.
Pranks can go wrong though. You know.
We want to know, did you have good intentions? Maybe you were just trying to cheer up your glum friend as well. And but the prank went a little bit awry.
Yeah.
Teresa's in Kenwick. Good morning, Teresa.
Hi, how you guys going?
Great.
Okay, now talk to us. What was the prank that went a bit wrong?
We're in year 12. It was a PDHD PE excursion for a week, and 7 girls, 1 boy. The boy decided to pull a prank on us, and he put all our bras out on top of the tent overnight, and they all froze overnight. And so we didn't have bras for the next day, so he
Yes.
found that really funny.
Yes.
But the next night we decided to get him back, and we put deep heat in all of his undies and put them back in his bag.
Teresa.
And, yeah, we thought it was going to be funny, but, yeah.
It
we
burned
felt
his
sorry
balls.
for him for a little bit, and then we had to endure him a week with no undies.
Yeah. I mean, that's the...
Frozen
That's the-
bras. I'd never heard of that, but that sounds like a good prank.
You've heard of cold as a witch's tit? I'm guessing that's what it is.
But the old Denker rub in the jocks,
In the
that's
jocks.
happened many times at
I
a footy
know.
club. Would it happen when you were there, Nat, when you were at the
Oh,
footy
yeah,
club?
for sure. I was a trainer, Ross. Don't laugh. I was
that's-
at a footy club. So
I thought that was a
settle down.
joke.
No, settle
she's a
down.
trainer, mate.
Can't strap an ankle up. There's no tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So a lot of willies. But yes, the old Dank rub trick. But to put it in all his jocks so that then he has no safe haven, if you know what I mean.
No,
That's
no.
rough.
That's a bit of, devil's spit would be another level of intenseness.
Oh,
If I
shit, yeah.
I don't know what's it feel like.
don't know. Spicy.
Spicy.
Thanks, Teresa. Maddie's in Warnborough. Hello.
G'day, how you going?
Good,
Hey,
buddy.
good, Maddie.
Okay, so what was the prank that went wrong?
Yeah, so I was up on a work site and lovely hot day, and I come across a snake that had expired, and I thought it would be a pretty good idea to see how many people were frightened of the snake. So
Yeah.
picked him up and took him into the lunchroom, and needless to say, there was a lot of screams from all the girls in the lunchroom, a couple of the boys, and the project manager was not too happy about that one where he was in the corner.
I'll tell you what, because...
Maddie. It's
Yeah,
not a
Maddie.
great decision. As somebody who hates snakes,
Yeah.
it's not great decision making on your behalf.
Well, it's not the rubber
was
snake that everyone throws
Yeah,
around, is
yeah.
it?
No, it's
It's
an
that was a
actual-
real
Oh, no.
snake.
She was a real steak.
Oh, man.
I mean, it could have only been really funny if then you realised it wasn't actually dead. It was just resting, and
Yeah, I know.
then it
Got
bit
you.
ya. Yeah.
That would have taken a bit of a turn.
that would have been
They would have
unbelievable.
been screaming. You're a horrible person, Maddie. Thank you.
Oh, that's pushing the
I'm not
friendship.
happy about that. Rebecca is in Ellenbrook. Good morning, Beck.
Good morning.
Okay, what was the prank that went a bit wrong, Beck?
So my brother's he's not a spring chicken anymore, so he's, late 50s, and his manager thought it'd be a bit funny to come behind him and sort of tap behind his knee.
Oh,
Yeah.
that classic.
And my brother's gone down, and all fun and games at that time, and then he hasn't been able to get up the next morning. His leg was all swollen. Gone to the doctors. He's damaged his knee. So, workers' comp, his manager's obviously got spoken to, saying that wasn't appropriate. And his manager goes, this is a joke, and trying to get out of it. And so he had about a month off, and then he thought his knee was all fine, signed off on his knee, saying, yep, I think it's all fine.
Good to go,
and
yeah.
then, good to go. And no, he can't walk. He's been off now for 5 months, and the insurance company's saying, well, we're not insuring you. You've signed off on it. Yep. And he goes, well, the doctor's meant to sign off, not my brother anyway.
Yes.
But they're saying because my brother's signed off on this and saying his knee's all fine, that he's all fine to go, so they're not insuring him.
Wow.
And the workers' comp or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Less funny
Yeah.
when workers' comp gets involved.
Yeah, when insurance starts denying your payment.
Yeah.
It's all fun and games, isn't it? Until you've got to fill out that
someone gets hurt.
workers comp form, and you've got to say the manager's like, oh my God, that was me. Like that's not ideal,
No,
Sean.
and then
Remember that
Yeah.
for whatever you're
Write that
thinking about
down.
doing in the moment.
Got to write that down.
Oh, thanks, Beck.
This is the Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
You were made to meet halfway. Expedia were made to plan where halfway is. Expedia, made to travel.
Auckland, LA, Vegas.
Oh my God.
Nova's Red Room Global Tour. Powered by Expedia. Nova's Red Room. Let's go. Let me hear. 'Cause I can't let go.
All right, this is all about Nova's Red Room Global Tour. It's your boarding pass to the world's biggest artists, up close and personal, all powered by Expedia.
Nat, we're kicking off an exclusive Nova's Red Room event, and that'll happen in Sydney.
Yes.
Ross?
Mystery guest in Sydney.
I know. Then what?
Gracie Abrams, you go to Auckland, New Zealand. From there, LA to see Dean Lewis live, and you finish where?
Well, no trip to the States is complete without a little stint in Vegas. And you'll be seeing Jelly Roll and that guy who we just heard, Post Malone.
It's going to be absolutely magnificent to be there. And one person who has the opportunity is Brooke.
Brooke from Bicton. Good morning, Brooke.
Brooke?
Hi, good morning.
Now, Brooke, we heard you're currently on the bus, is that right?
No, I got off because I was too embarrassed.
Oh, no!
So now you're going to be late for work, Brooke, because you had to get off your bus.
It's fine, it's worth it.
So what are you on Canning Highway or something, are you, Brooke?
Yeah, where are you?
I actually am on Canning Highway, yeah. I'm at the front of Legends Bar. I just got off.
yeah, okay,
yeah,
good.
yeah.
We're at the front of BP there.
Yep, nice.
Yes,
Now,
yeah,
normally,
that's
what
where I
are
am.
you on the 910 into the city? What are you doing?
On the 158, actually, through the streets of Adelaide. The scenic route.
And so where are you headed? Do you work in the city or?
Yeah, I work in the city.
Yeah, nice. So you go and jump on the train, do you, then?
No, it
bus
goes
all the
right
way.
in front. I'm just Elizabeth Quay, and I walk from there. Like a 2-minute walk. So
Perfect.
pretty
For
convenient.
public transport. This has just been a triumph.
Hey, Brooke, when
would've
you got the
thought.
call, were you were sitting on the bus, right?
Yep.
Were you was it full?
No, it was pretty empty this time of the morning, but I was actually next to my friend, so we've both hopped off, so now she's going to be late for work too.
Well, I tell you what, it'll be worth it if you get the call back tomorrow from Ricky Lee, Tim, and
well
Joel.
worth it.
I know. So this is quite the lineup. Which of those would be your favourite stop, you reckon?
Oh, it's too hard to pick, but probably Post Malone, I think.
Yeah,
Post
and
Malone would
also,
be huge.
Or Gracie Abrams. I'm already going to see her anyway, but
Doubling down.
yeah.
She's
Yeah.
here in Perth.
Yeah.
in a couple
So
of
you're
months.
seeing her here, and then imagine seeing her in Auckland as well with a slightly
that'd be
different
all right.
accent.
Yeah.
It'd be incredible.
yeah, insane.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be great because you know that when she's in Auckland, if you've seen her in Perth already, that she's going to say, "I love this place."
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
As she said about
I love
Perth,
you.
you're like,
Looks at her hand. Auckland. Wow.
You liar.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Brooke, keep your phone handy tomorrow, okay?
No worries. Thank
All
you
right,
so much.
that's how it's done, everybody.
This is the Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
Time to catch up with This extraordinary man who can do no wrong. First of all, he did breakfast radio for Nova in Melbourne. For a while. And not sure what happened there. And now, like we've seen him on the front bar, that kind of thing. But now he's got his own Tonight Show, which kicks off on Channel 10 on Monday night.
About time.
The one, the only Sam Pang. Hello, Sam.
Morning.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Sam, this is so exciting, mate. And you're certainly putting yourself out there because we've been talking about...
Well, Sean Mosley's been saying how
shows.
none of these things work, is what Sean said.
Well, no, I said Rove, obviously. He dominated.
Cousin Rove, yeah.
Cousin Rove.
Yes, Sean. Yes, that was 2009 that he finished.
Yeah, I know.
So it's a long time ago, mate.
Yeah, I know. I haven't let it go, though.
So,
Probably still watching repeat.
did they come to you and say, we think it's time that there was a Tonight Show on TV again, or did you pitch it to them? How did it go?
Jeez, Nat, I think last year, because I've got a good relationship with them because they haven't been paying attention. So I think there was just natural discussions about, is there anything else you'd like to do? And I said, well, I've always liked Tonight shows, and I think even though we haven't had one in the country for a while, everyone's pretty familiar with the format, but we just haven't had one. So I like the idea, and so the idea of doing one live on a Monday night is pretty exciting. So it's always something I've wanted to do, but you never think you're going to be able to do it. And I've been happy with Front Bar and having paying attention and the Logie. So this is just 8 weeks of fun and 8 Mondays, and we'll hopefully.
And then we'll all forget about it.
No, you're going to be great.
He will be great.
I can't think of anyone else that could do this job. Actually, Sam, I really can't. I reckon you'll be able to do a super job.
It's a bit weird though, because all that we are seeing on free to air TV in the evenings these days is either maths or a football panel show. So will you at least talk about football a bit?
No. But they'll have a maths recap every Monday night. They're doing that.
Yes.
So it's more a traditional, Tonight Show with the news of the weeks, and depending on who's around in town, guests or funny friends of mine. So it's more, I get to talk footy on the Front Bar, and that's
you've covered that off.
Box. Yeah, I get that fixed, but this is more, everything else.
So I imagine you do some practice shows. I saw some of the promos mentioning some of the feedback and stuff like that. Is there anything behind the scenes, like, the applause light screen thing that comes up, tell the crowd what to do? How do you train them? What do we know behind the scenes that we wouldn't see?
Well, they're not monkeys.
Aren't they?
It's exciting to be in front of a live studio audience, and we did a trial show a couple of weeks ago, which was, it was just good to just find out some stuff and get in the studio and see what, all the camera angles and all that. That's all boring stuff. But, on the night, just like the audience is there and we'll be attempting comedy, and if they laugh, great, and hopefully people watch. But, it's, that's the best thing about live. You find out straight away.
Yeah, but Sam, straight away you get the feedback. You're going to be great. I've said that, and you will be.
We have no doubt.
But when I watched Rove back in the day, and I always lead by this, he did have someone to warm up the crowd when I used to go there. So you clearly must have someone, do you?
Yeah, both are like most, I think, between, having paying attention and...
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Everything.
Front Bar,
the project,
do they?
Yeah, there's someone to warm up the crowd. So it's like, I think, wonderful stand-up comedians, Ben Lomas and Danny McGinley to work on those two shows. And then, so that I'm sure we'll have someone on Monday night.
It'd be funny if you don't, and they're all just sitting there in stony silence and you walk out.
Come on.
Well, then
Anyone?
That'll just be like that'll be just like Christmas then. You know what I mean? I don't need that again.
The obvious question when you've got a Tonight Show, there's a lot of things to consider, but one of the biggest players, of course, is the desk. Have you did you do a lot of trying different desks? Did you get a committee in to design the desk? Talk to us about...
Went to Freedom, went to IKEA.
The desk.
Yeah, yes, me, I'm Mr. DIY.
Just a flat pack.
Yeah, I got it right. DIY. No, I reckon I looked at two desks, and it was very, very... It was very, very easy decision. It's like, yeah, that one's fine.
What
Like,
makes a good one? Is it the timber finish or, because have you gone classic? Have you got a dark mahogany or a lighter sort of beach? What have you gone with?
You won't believe this, Nat. I reckon I saw one, and I actually did have a note. I'm going, I think the wood could be slightly darker. And the guy goes, yeah, no worries, you can do that. I can't believe it.
You couldn't believe you're that person saying that.
Has nobody else asked you about the desk?
Yeah, no, real power. I think the chair's more important. I'm on a stool. It's going to be great.
Are you on a stool? Yeah,
no,
right.
I'm on a chair with a back, you know.
Okay, great. Great, because as a former chiropractor, I'm worried about your spinal health. So, yeah, no, that's great. We've got a lot of practical concerns.
I think for an hour, I don't think I think I'll be okay. But yeah, if the last segment I'm in traction, I think that's probably not right.
I mean, what a way to round it out. Yeah.
Sam,
Yeah, what a good.
I did go to Rove and I did see that warm-up guy. But like the iconic segments, have you got your own version of what you're excited about?
Yeah, like a segment was like, hey, what?
How have I forgotten what this show is? You've asked me about the desk, the warm-up guy, and segments that Rove had.
At least it's about the show this time.
We're saying that Rove had segments. Have you come up with some cool segments with a catchy phrase?
Well, I think it's a good. You know what? It's in all seriousness, you don't tune into this show for the guests. In terms of this is not the Graham Norton show where there's three of the biggest celebrities in the world on a couch drinking wine. Like we're in Australia. Sometimes they're just not here. So there'll be lots of segments and there'll be lots of comedy and there'll be there'll be guests. But it's also not. I just want to lower everyone's expectations.
Ice Cube's still around. I've seen him everywhere.
Who's that?
Ice Cube. I've seen him everywhere.
No, he deliberately said who's that.
Exactly.
And Sam, obviously, you've got a big catchphrase at the end, like say hi to your dad for me or something like that.
Is that another Rove? Is just Rove? Are we just reviewing the best of Rove?
Maybe Nana.
Who's your Pete Hellier?
Say hi to your Nana for me. That would work.
Rove had a great catchphrase. I think mine will be more like just kneeling down and saying, "Please tune in next week. Yes. I've got a family." So, it would be, Rove was cool. I'll be more desperate. Like, hey, please tune in again next week. It'll be it won't be catchy.
We certainly will, Sam.
We love you, Sam. You know that, right? We say this with a lot of affection.
How amazing. My manager will be upset she didn't get a mention today.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Nathan's
true.
away, so we'll make sure when he's back he
next
picks
time.
you up.
Monday night, everybody, 8:40 on Channel 10 and 10 Play, of course. Sam Pang will debut his new Tonight Show, and check it out for The Desk Alone. Thank you, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you, Nat. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it.
Love you,
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
So you might have seen on the news, and you certainly read the article today, about the two divers who went on their tour on the long weekend in March. Now, they went out just off Hillary's for a bit of a dive around, and they got left behind.
Yeah, so, I've never been on a dive expedition. Have you, either of you guys? You would have, for sure.
How many people in it?
Well, the one I did back in the day, there was only 10 of us. We're on a massive boat, though. Yeah. And that's because we were joining it in between. This is the best scam. How about this? So I had this deal while I was at the Fremantle Dockers. I'll make this as quick as I can.
No, sure.
And the AFL allowed you to do this thing that was called like an apprenticeship, right, where you just worked inside the club and learned all different things. And to fill some of the holes, the voids in the curriculum, the footy club proposed that we do this diving, open water diving tour thing, and it was Jared.
So because you got a qualification, presumably
you get a qualification.
Your paddy ticket. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
So there was Jared Neesham, Neil Danaher, myself, Mark Riley, who's assistant coach for many years, and Anthony Jones and Lee Walter-Johnson. There's about 6 of us. And we just did it a whole self-paid by the AFL. So we were just going out off Rottnest and diving during the week.
I would have left you behind. So they're out on the boat. So they go diving.
Yep.
The boat, they surface, presumably, and the boat's gone back to Perth. And they're just left behind.
We've seen that what happened at the Great Barrier Reef that time.
Yeah, and there was a movie made about it as well. And it's like...
we were discussing this off air with it, and you just say there's low numbers.
Yes.
So obviously they didn't do a count.
Surely a head count is of utmost importance when you're running a dive expedition.
Because what happens, there's normally a line that you follow. You jump off the boat, right? There's a line that you follow down to the bottom, and everyone has a look around. You practice all your signs, and you go through the.
And the thing is, you use the buddy system down there.
100%.
Yes, but obviously they were buddies with one another, so nobody else noticed they weren't there.
So they looked after each other, just no one else looked after them.
So, and then they were there for a few hours before the Rottnest ferry picked them up.
Yeah, so the Rotto ferry's coming back to Hillary's, right? They picked them up 5.5 k's offshore, 3 nautical miles, right?
That's
5.5 k's offshore.
That's the open sea. Like they could have joined in the Rottnest swim next
100%.
on the weekend.
And were people on the ferry when they're like, hey, we're just going to do a quick diversion?
Yeah, they would have. They were
stranded.
for sure.
Well, someone spotted them.
Yeah.
You're in the Rotto ferry. Actually, I think this happened to Amy when she went over to the Rottnest last year when I swam the solo and just a kayak just was going floating past.
Oh, yeah,
and
that was the year it's called off.
We might want to stop and pick those people up if we can find them, that is.
Extraordinary. I cannot think of anything worse than being left behind in the open sea is one thing.
Oh, yeah,
but if you're just left behind at any point, it's a bit devastating.
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes it's on those tours when you go and do those, you're travelling around the world.
Yeah. I have one from when I was in high school, and it was the end of year 12. So some kids had cars, and we'd had some sort of event at the school, and then we were all piling into cars and heading off to somebody's house to, just have a bit of a gatho. We didn't call them that at the time, but that's what it was.
No one's ever called it that. Gatho?
Sure.
Ross,
it's a gathering.
No,
it's a gatho, mate.
It's a gatho,
for us.
You've now embarrassed yourself. Read it, but it's in the paper. Everybody jumped in, and there wasn't enough room, and one of the guys said, "Oh, we'll come back and get you." And so I just stood there waiting. It was dark. It was near Hamer Park, Mount Lawley, and then I was like, "Oh, they're not."
How long did you wait?
Coming back about half an hour, and then somebody else kind of walked past. And said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, apparently they're coming back."
Waiting for a mate.
They're not coming back. And so I then had to go to their house and ring somebody to come and get me because it was before the days of Uber.
Oh, yeah, of course.
What a loser.
Oh, no.
I'd come back for me. I'm amazing.
Yeah, just
big
ask me.
mistake. Look at me now.
100%. We want to ask you if you've been left behind. Maybe you're on a tour, or maybe we're just out with a group of friends. People forgot you. How did the head count? No, it was all good. Let's go.
We're good to go. Sophie's in Bassendean. Morning, Soph.
Hi, how are you?
Good,
Soph. Who got left behind? What happened?
So I dropped my daughter at school, settled her into the classroom, and I had my daughter and my 2.5-year-old son, said goodbye to her, unpacked all her things, got in the car, popped to the supermarket, did some shopping, went home, unpacked the shopping, made myself a coffee, and my phone rang, and it was the school. And they said, are you going to take your 2.5-year-old son as well? And
no, it's time he started school. Yep.
You'd made yourself a coffee and everything, Soph, and you hadn't even realised.
No, I'd gone to the supermarket. I'd done a supermarket shop. I'd unpacked.
Be very efficient without a 2.5-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. So easy.
Yep, you go.
One of the teachers happened to look out the window and just saw this little child running around the playground.
Oh, he wasn't even in the classroom. He'd gone out. Oh,
free range.
Yeah.
So he wasn't even supervised, just having the time of his life.
All turned out all right.
No, Parent of the Year.
Yeah. No,
we were talking off air before we started with you, Soph, the amount of stories we've all got of our parents leaving us somewhere.
How traumatic it stays.
Forgetting to pick you up, I reckon, is the thing,
2.5-year-old, will that stick with him forever? Is that in his psyche now, or he probably loved it?
Look, I've managed to get him to 19, so I did something okay.
Does he have abandonment issues, though?
I think he does, yeah.
Sophie, amazing. Mother of the Year there. Alison's in Mandurah. Good morning, Alison.
Hi there.
Okay, was it you that got left behind, Alison?
Yes, it was. We were down sort of camping at Bremer Bayway, and
Beautiful.
You can go full driving. There was about 7 families, couples.
Yep.
I was 8 months pregnant, and we were going full driving. And you've got those cliff areas and you can sort of walk down to the beach area.
Yeah.
And all the cars were sort of parked up on the cliff and we all sort of walked down to the beach. And then I sort of turned around and everyone was sort of walking. They were in the distance sort of walking back up to the cars. and they all got in their cars and took off. And a lot of the sort of wives and husbands, well, the husbands were mainly driving, but the wives sort of jumped in different cars.
Yes.
And it would have been about 20 minutes, half an hour.
What?
And I looked up, and then the cars eventually came back, and my husband said, I just thought you jumped into someone else's car.
Wow.
And they got on the CB radio and said, does anyone have my wife? And they're all like, no one's got your wife.
Alison, this
So,
sounds
I
like...
was left on the beach for about 45 minutes in the end.
You know what it
Pregnant
was?
wife.
They all, but you weren't any fun, were you? See?
That's right.
8.5 months
Obviously
pregnant.
Not at 8 months pregnant.
No, there was
Who's
like,
got Alison? Who cares?
Who cares?
Bringing the mood down.
Oh, what a downer. Alison, that's heartbreaking. But was your husband in trouble for not looking out for you, or did you forgive him?
Well, yes, to an extent. He had the 2 kids at least. But so I was having a nice quiet time, I guess, on the beach by myself.
Yeah, just contemplating life and starting afresh. Amazing. Thanks, Ali. Well done. Clarissa, hello.
Hello, hi.
Hi, Clarissa.
Hey, Clarissa.
Okay, so you got left behind somewhere. Tell us about it.
No, it was my dad. It was his birthday. We were in Hong Kong, and I was 7 years old. And it was like back in the 90s. And I remember when we were going out in the streets of Hong Kong, I saw the little rickshaw men, and I used to like point out to them. I really wanted to go on them. This one particular time, we're walking through the streets. There they were. I'm like, Daddy, look. This old man, I'll never see, came up, picked me up, threw me in the back of the rickshaw and took off with me.
Oh.
Then two other men, one picked up my mum, one picked up my sister, and off they went.
Yes.
My dad was left there, standing, and his whole family's just gone. He chased these men through the streets of Hong Kong.
Yeah.
It was like a nightmare. Eventually, he got them into they took us down like across streets and stuff into this alleyway where my dad caught up with them, and they wouldn't give us back until they demanded us. My dad demanded my father gave them all this money, and and then so basically, eventually we were released and we went to the police and were like, this is what happened. Like my father was left behind.
You were kidnapped. Yes.
Basically, I was distraught.
Of course.
And the police were like, oh, no, we're not going to, no, show us, where were these men? Where were they? Like, it was all a big, like they were kind of in on it kind of thing, do you know what I mean? And I'll never forget, it was my father's birthday back in the 90s, and off they were. To this day.
You got kidnapped, that was
those
real.
rickshaw men.
And extorted,
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
What was the? Did they say anything to you while you were in the rickshaw crying hysterically?
Oh, no, they didn't even speak English.
They were peddling as hard as they could.
Yeah.
But I swear to God, I'll never, ever go in one of those things again. I tell you what, or let my own children, for that matter.
Jeez.
You won't let your children be kidnapped. You're so weird like that.
Well,
I know. Clarissa.
Yeah.
That's
I
amazing.
know, right?
That's an incredible story. Thank
pretty
you.
Crazy.
Yeah,
no
yes,
worries.
be careful.
I haven't been to Hong Kong.
I haven't either.
There's a reason
Me
not
neither.
to go.
Yes.
No, I actually want to go. We should go
they've
together
got a
and see who makes it out.
They've got a great race course. That's why you want to go. Happy Valley.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
Ross, you've witnessed firsthand now, Sean, just launching about this whole swim debacle, the filth that the West Coast Eagles team recruited. Dean Peters, who is a life member of the West Coast Eagles, worked for the club for 10 years.
Congratulations on him.
He qualifies
excellent.
to represent the West Coast Eagles in a team event.
No, he doesn't. Not at all, because he's not a past player, because that's what the rules and regulations say. And Sports Integrity Australia have contacted me, and they agree.
Are the rules and regulations written?
Somewhere in the sand in front of the Pokerans.
He is fired up. I thought it'd be light-hearted stuff. He's
so
you can't. If you're competing against somebody and you roll in an Olympian, I mean, give me strength.
Well, why didn't haven't the Dockers ever hired an Olympian to work for them?
Because Brianna Throsser wouldn't return my call. That's the reason.
Oh, too funny. But I mean, the art of a ring-in, it's the way to go.
You say ring-in, I say cheating, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, they've just recruited well, is what you call it cheating. I say they recruited well. Years ago, a friend of mine, so she actually worked for me when I had my car clinic. She was my receptionist and ran the office and everything. She did a great job. But she was also a very good touch footy player. She's very quick, And so her husband worked in real estate, and there was some big corporate touch footy thing, and so he was a good player too. So he got called into play, but they needed more girls, obviously, because it was a mixed thing. And so they're like, "Oh, can you play?" And she's like, "But I don't work." And they said, "We'll just say that you work for this," and said the name of the real estate agent. "You'll just say that you work for us." And then they won the tournament because she was so much better than all the other girls because she played regular. Like, she was a very high level, really good player. And everyone else has just had Kathy from reception, and she's like just absolutely dominating.
Was there a prize involved in that one?
I mean, yeah, there was. It was one of those big corporate days, where all the businesses, go in and there's prizes and prize money and stuff. Yeah,
that's cheating.
It doesn't always happen in sport either, because there's quiz nights and stuff. There's ring-ins that come from it. Oh, yeah, it's my sister's.
I would say there's more on the line in a quiz night than there is in this bloody swim to rot net.
No, there's not. There's a cup, mate. There's a cup.
A cup?
There's a trophy. Full on.
Yeah, but you get like jugs of beer at quiz nights. I mean, we've got a ring in today, Ross. Hello.
Hey, Ross. You're a great ringer, Ross.
Jeff's in Forestfield. Morning, Jeff.
G'day, how are you, fellas?
Good, Jeff.
Talk to us about the ring-in sitch.
Well, I think it's good recruiting by myself, but we were involved with touch rugby as well over here.
Yes.
And I used to be assistant coach for the state men's team.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Nice.
So every time we'd get a bunch of Kiwis mob would put a competition up probably every year or two. Twice a year, maybe. $1,500 prize money. So,
yes.
Of course, I would grab two of the state players every time we played, and we took their money every time. And after about the third or fourth time, they banned us. They banned us from putting the team in.
You just stacked it full of really good players because you had those contacts.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, no, we flogged them. Big time.
Down at Tompkins Park, not far from us,
yes,
Natalie, they've got the
yes,
touch
that's where
rugby
my
there,
friend
right?
used to play.
Oh,
yeah.
So I always see these bunch of Kiwis down there. They're always training on the weekend, and we've played against them once or twice. They are lightning.
Yes.
You don't see where they're going. They do one step and they're gone.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. It's like, see ya, sucker. Thanks, Jeff. Tracy's in East Freo. Morning, Trace.
Good morning.
Hey,
All right,
Trace.
Trace, talk to us about a ring-in. What happened?
Okay, so a few years ago now, when Subiaco Stadium was still in play, I participated in a 4-week HBF Health Challenge, and part of that was playing a game of AFL 9 at Subi Stadium for an Easter.
Nice.
Yeah, and I happened to work with a fellow who was a supreme athlete, played cricket for Australia, and happened to play football for West Perth, so we roped him into the team and had somewhat of an unfair advantage, but yeah, we smashed the game. I don't think he quite got the rules of no contact because he did take a couple of screamers and caused a bit of a blood nose, but we won.
He kept getting the girls and slamming them into the ground. And have you played in nines? You've talked about nines before.
I played a couple of games, but
bit of running, I imagine.
Yeah, but everyone just gets together at the end and just has a couple of cans. I wanted to play this Bali Nines that was going on, and I had this idea that I'd play there. But one day they put in a team, and I think it was a Wayne Carey, Richard Champion. There was all these AFL guys, and they took the competition out. And they were proper. I mean, Wayne Carey's noted as being the best player that's ever played in some ranks.
Yeah.
So no one had a chance.
When I worked as a trainer, we were talking about that before. The club this is in Melbourne, and the club that I worked for had a Super Rules team, which is the over 35s, I think.
Yeah, it is.
And for 2 games only, they got the greatest ring-in of all time, and we talked about him off air today. Bruce Dool. Bruce Dool came down and played 2 games for this Super Rule team. And the crowd, so this is obviously the Flying Doormat, one of the greatest players to ever play for Carlton. Incredible. He had the headband, the bald head and the long stringy hair.
Massive beard.
Yeah, massive beard. The quietest, politest man you will ever meet. He ran a news agency in the neighbourhood, and somebody knew him and said, do you want to come down and play? He was so much better than everybody. He took an absolute screamer in the first 5 minutes that the crowd, there's probably 2,000 people came down to see him play. The crowd went mental. You've never seen anything like it. It was amazing. And then he played 2 games, and then he took his headband off and went back to selling magazines.
Funnily enough, when we spoke to Sam Pang earlier on, he was wearing a hat that said Dool on it.
Yeah, because of course he's a mad Carlton fan. Yeah.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Recycle. Nathan and Sean love a good mix, just not between bins. Learn how to recycle right and more at wastesorted.wa.gov.au.
Look, we want you to be a great sort, so we are testing your recycled radio knowledge. Up for grabs is a Rottnest Island experience valued at $1,000.
Nothing to sneeze about there. And we've got a Megan on the show, which is always good news.
As
isn't
you
it?
know, Sean, Megans know it all. Hello, Megan.
Hello.
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 Hi, Megan.
Megan. Okay, here's what's going to happen.
Hi.
Yeah, we got you.
Megan, we have dealt.
Question?
Yeah, hang on, settle down, Megan.
Jeez, you're off the marks there, mate. If you had the Australian Grand Prix, you'd be off.
They're all the same, Sean. Megan, listen carefully. We're going to play you a little bit. We've delved into the archives, okay? And we're going to play you a snippet of an interview from 2021 where we were speaking to an Australian performing artist. It's your job to tell us who that performing artist is. Have a listen to this.
Nathan, I actually think you used to work with my dad as he was a cameraman.
Oh, my God.
But I remember you used to work with you back in the day. So
Yes, and that would have been a show called Takeshi's Castle, which is one of my
mentioned it.
greatest shames.
Whose dad was a cameraman on Takeshi's Castle, Megan? Any idea who that was?
Whose dad was a cameraman on Takeshi's Castle? No, I'm going to have a guess.
Yes.
Hurry up, time.
Quick.
Hugh Jackman.
It is not Hugh Jackman.
Not Hugh Jackman.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you, Megan.
Jade's in tapping. Hi, Jade.
Hi.
Jade, do you know what you're calling for, first of all?
I do, but I have absolutely no idea.
So we do know it's an Australian performing artist. So do you want to just throw a name out there?
Oh, God. Yeah, no.
Can't think of one.
Don't know. No, can't think of one.
Okay.
Playing
Unlucky,
Jade. Nathan's in Dianella. Hello, Nathan.
Good morning, lovely people.
Nathan. Now, Nathan should be able to connect with another
That's right,
Nathan in this
because
circumstance.
this is all about Nathan Morris. Nathan from Dianella, who is the Australian performing artist.
I have got no idea.
You want to take a stab? Have a stab. Aussie artists.
Nicole Kidman.
No, it's. We'll give you
Bit
a
of a
hint.
low
We'll narrow
voice
it down.
to Nicole
It's a
Kidman.
man.
Hence the voice, but you know.
It's a male Australian performing artist. Okay, we've just halved the possibilities. Lena, hello.
Hello, how you going?
Great, Lena. So we heard in this interview that particular Australian performing artist, who is a man, his dad was a cameraman and had worked with Nathan. So who is that?
I've actually got no idea.
Do you want to have a guess?
No, I've got no clue.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you, Lena.
Working well.
All right.
Should we give a clue?
Yes, let's give a clue.
All right. I'm going to just... He performed at Kings Park within the last 3 months.
Also, Ross, can we hear the audio again?
Yeah, let's
help
hear it.
people out.
So you want to listen to the voice. Here we go.
Nathan, I actually think you used to work with my dad as he was a cameraman.
Oh, my God.
But I remember you used to work with you back in the day. So
Yes, and that would have been a show called Takeshi's Castle, which is one
You
of my
mentioned it.
greatest shames.
Aussie artist performed at Kings Park a few months ago.
Let's go to Tanika in Hilbert. Hi, Tanika.
Hi.
All right, Tanika, who is that artist?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe would it be Heath Ledger?
He performed in Kings Park 3 months ago.
Heath Ledger did not.
So no, absolutely not Heath Ledger.
If he did, did anyone else film it? Because that would be amazing.
I think it's safe to say he's a singer.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So he's a singer who performed in Kings Park
We play songs on Nova.
within the last 3 months.
And not Heath Ledger.
Tanika, I'm just going to put it out there. That's the worst guess so far. I mean, Nicole Kidman was pretty bad too, I suppose.
A couple of absolute stinkers this morning. Let's be honest.
Jenny's at Ardros. Hello.
Good morning. How are you?
Jenny, don't disappoint us, please.
Yes, Jenny, have a crack. Come on, you can do it.
I'm thinking because I heard Ross met him. Perhaps was it Dean Lewis?
Let's have a listen to this.
Jenny.
Oh, my God, guys, look. There's a Dean Lewis on the screen.
Hey, guys,
Of
how you
course,
going?
Jenny. That is Dean Lewis, not Heath Ledger from Beyond the Grave. Jenny, great news for you. You won a Rottnest Island experience. It's valued at $1,000. Well played.
Ah, fantastic. And is that the one where Ross was coming out of the toilet and Dean Lewis was not too happy about it?
Ross?
Very good at listening, yes. I accidentally used Dean Lewis's toilet and he called me out for it. But I didn't know it was Dean Lewis's toilet. And he said, just so you know, that's my toilet. And
He's very protective about his toilet, isn't he? We didn't know he was so...
toilet protective.
Yeah, that's right. And you did ask. You said, can I use that toilet? But what did you do in that toilet that upset Dean Lewis so much?
I was very respectful. There was no like spray or anything. Jenny, thanks for listening to my stories. Not many people do.
And not even at home. Not even at home, eh, Ross?
That's it.
Oh, Jenny, well played.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Ross, you shocked us all when you ordered a cappuccino this morning.
I shocked you, and you were really offended that I ordered cappuccino, and apparently it's not a man drink, and there's just a slight dusting of chocolate, and I think it's cool.
Well,
Ross.
our digital content manager, Sam, texted me. He's at home. He's working from home today. He said, "Tell Ross, congrats on coming out. Cappuccino, so brave, rainbow flag." So there's that. We've got some people from Pentanet in the building with us this morning. Come on, step up.
So they're all pointing at each other. Do we find
Christian
acceptable or not?
Are you pro cappuccino?
Absolutely. Look, unless you're going in and ordering for extra chocolate, can I get a bit more chocolate, a bit more
with some marshmallows?
Maybe pushing the limit a bit, but standard cappuccino, perfectly normal.
Get that man a cappuccino.
You're wrong as it turns out, Christian, because we put it to our good followers on Instagram. Is a cappuccino acceptable for a man? Yes is at 0%.
I'm going to change that right now.
No, here, look,
how many votes have we got? I believe you.
No is at 33%, and or it's basically a baby chino is at 67%. So they're not saying you're not manly; they're just saying you're a baby.
Okay. Well, it is yes 62%, no 19%. Basically, baby chino 19%. So I put my vote in.
No, I don't think that's true.
I do.
I'll vote for you.
Thanks, Johnny.
The people have spoken, Ross.
No, keep speaking. Socials.
Have your say.
There's a hot chocolate just arriving for you now.
Bring it over here.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
I said earlier we'd get to the end of the show and then I'd kind of be like, do you guys want to hang out again?
And we'll say...
And Nat was not. At 7 o'clock she said no.
Nat's very busy.
So I've got a plumber coming.
Yeah, okay.
Of course we'll have you back, Ross. Tomorrow, come in tomorrow because seriously, we have the biggest lineup of guests tomorrow. Get a load of this.
Well, we've got the big Pav. We're going to catch up with him, right? I'm going to throw in another AFL footballer, and that is Jeremy McGovern, the 6-time All-Australian.
I mean, that's incredible. We've got Tim McDonald, who you might know from the cheap seats, but he also is a great lover of Formula One and, of course, ahead of the Melbourne Grand Prix this weekend. So we'll catch up with him and talk about that.
Fat Boy Slim, Ross.
Forms tomorrow.
Is coming into the studio.
Yeah, he's coming in. Norman Cook himself.
I love his songs. I didn't know that was his name, but that...
Yeah, Norman
Cook. Yeah, Normie.
Yeah, Norm. Our mate Norm. Our mate Norm's coming in.
Yeah.
And you think, what else? How else would you cap that lineup off? The Prime Minister's going to drop by as well.
Yeah, he texted Amy before, our producer Amy, and he said, I need to come in. And we're like,
yeah, well, he heard Fat Boy Slim's coming in.
That's right. He loves his music.
He'll be filthy, actually, that they're not in at the same time, won't he?
Oh, he will.
Yeah, he will. Wait till he finds out. That's going to be so good. Plus, Recycle Radio is back again. Another trip to Rottnest. Perhaps some of the worst guesses of all time today. When given the clue that it was an Australian performing artist who has played at Kings Park within the last 3 months, somebody guessed Heath Ledger.
It wasn't. He hadn't performed at Kings Park in the last.
No, that's true, Ross.
Yeah.
That is.
And someone said Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
And we played.
And it was pretty obviously a man.
That's all right.
I know you can't be good at everything. You know what I mean?
True.
Speaking of not good at everything, that was mean. Hello, Truso.
Hi, morning all. I'm getting a serious case of FOMO hearing you talk about tomorrow's show.
I know. How massive's that?
I know, but I did get a sleep in this morning, so I can't really complain. You win some, you lose some.
I know, but I know with your sleep in though, did you actually sleep in? Because normally, you're in a routine.
Yeah, you're dead right, Sean. 4 o'clock this morning, the body clock woke me up. I tried to have a little lay in, but ended up vacuuming, folding some clothes. I've had a productive morning, actually, to be honest. So, going to be hanging out here for the rest of the
gardening.
day. Yeah.
Sam and I swapped positions today, and he left me a note when I got in this morning, and it's the first thing it said. Had technical notes on it, but hope alarm wasn't too painful, Ross.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Which is nice.
Very nice. I know how you'll be feeling. Enjoy your nap today, Ross.
Yeah.
Nathan, Nat and Sean, enjoy big show tomorrow. So excited for that.
See you then.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.